Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. So in this video we're going to try to figure out if this quad is worth saving, and sometimes you have to go backwards before you could go forward. So as an example, this back plastic needs to come off. To do that, you got bolts here. If this thing was on properly, there'd be two bolts there, right? One there, and then there were bolts down here. Once those bolts are out, fairly easy, take that off. Next thing I wanted to do was get the air cleaner out of here, and to do that you actually have to take the shock off, send the shock all the way backwards, and kind of use the hole in the air cleaner to go into the shock and then take it out of there. So the air cleaner's out, the back plastic is off. What's next? Well, I know the compression is a little bit light for this machine. So you always ask the question, why is the compression a little light? Is the compression light because the engine's worn out, your rings are completely shot, or is the compression light because somebody did not run an air cleaner on this puppy and caused erosion around the valve in the head, and by just loosening up the valve a little bit, you could get your compression back. So I'm trying not to tear this entire thing apart, but you could see it's got Honda-like valve adjustments. You take this off. Now, for this machine, I don't have a recoil starter, and if I take this cover off, what's going to happen is oil is going to pour out, and I'm trying not to get involved with that. So how do you turn this thing over to the point where you could get to top dead center? If you take this out, you can look in there and you could see marks go floating by, but once again, how do you turn it over? What I did is, this is an upshift. I upshifted it to 5th gear, and if you roll it forward, you can turn the motor over fairly slowly. And what I did is I turned it over to the point where I can feel where there should be slack on the valve, but there isn't. The valve is still tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up the adjuster, and just as a reminder, what you have is you have that, typically they're 10 millimeter. You loosen up the 10 millimeter, then you could drive the thing in and or out. I want to back it off a little bit so I have some play with that valve. I want the valve to close completely. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a compression test on this motor. Probably I'm going to take the carburetor off first, then I'm going to do a compression test on this motor. We'll see what it looks like, what it sounds like, and we'll go on from there. So I loosened up the valve a little bit, and if you listen, I loosened it up actually too much, but that's okay. I don't care if it taps a little bit. I just want to make sure I can get the maximum amount of compression out of this thing. Okay, we did a few things at once here. I mentioned I loosened up the valve under there and I put the cap back on, which is good. Then if you loosen up this bolt here, you can take it off. That's actually a Phillips head. You get that right off of there. Now what we're going to do, two things. We're going to check the compression, and I got my jump pack hooked up. The electrical system seems to be functioning because when I push the button, she comes in somewhere around 90. What I also want to show you here, and it's going to be a little harder to do in the daylight, but maybe. Let's see how much spark we have. Yeah, there we go. Maybe she'll show you. Maybe she won't. So maybe you can see it. So hopefully you guys saw the spark. So what am I going to do now? The compression is coming in a little bit low. I did not loosen up the exhaust valve. So I could do that, but before I do that, I think I'm going to put a little oil into the cylinder, turn it over, and then recheck it. If you put oil into the cylinder and the compression improves, that can mean that the rings are a bit worn. I have seen them run at around 90, so I'm not sure how recently this is run, and it doesn't have a dipstick, so it's kind of hard to tell the condition of the oil, right? The oil might be really, really thinned out with gasoline or whatever, so that's kind of a little hard to tell. It does have a sight glass, but you can't put your finger in there and take the oil out and you know, feel the viscosity. Anyway, I'm going to put some oil down the spark plug hole and we'll see what this thing comes back with. So I did a couple of things at once. First thing I did was I hooked the headlight up, and check it out. Bang, bang. Oops, I got no headlight. Where am I? There we go. Headlight. It had a high and a low. I guess I just got low at this point. So the headlight's back to life. That's a good thing. Yeah, it was strange. High was working before. Now I just have low. And I put oil into the cylinder. So let's see what she does. So you guys could see the compression has come up a bit. It's up around 100 psi. Not bad, better. So what's left? What I want to do with this thing, I want to put a carburetor onto it and see what'll happen. And I did a video about taking one of these $30 carburetors or $20 carburetors and turning it into a manual choke. So here we have it right here, and I'm just going to slide that right on there, put some gas to it, put the spark plug back in, and let's see if this thing will start. Okay, tubers, this is the carburetor that I put onto this thing. I just took a PZ29 manual choke and put it on here, bolts right up, and I did a video on that. So for $20 you could get rid of the Mikuni, put it right on there, and as a matter of fact, the top of the Mikuni goes right on. The slide does not fit, but the top of the Mikuni goes right on to this clone carburetor. So the carburetor's on. You guys could see I got some gas rigged up here. What I want you to note on the battery charger, see how it's on yellow? The thing is not fully charged. If the thing starts up and it's generating electricity, what it'll do is it'll charge the charger and make that green, right? So it's a way of testing out the electrical circuit. Anyway, let's see how she does. By the way, this is not a cold start. I did give it a quick start to see what she was going to do. So, not bad. So we're looking at the back first. So it seems to run okay. Notice the green light's on, so the charge is working. Yeah. She actually sounds pretty good. I'm not getting any smoke out of it. I wish it was idling down a little lower. You know what? I'm going to pop it into gear and let's see what happens. So it does go into gear. I don't know how to work reverse on this. What does it say here? It just says reverse. I don't know if you pull it. I guess this thing is reverse. Oh, it doesn't pull that easy. I think we're back in neutral. So I don't know if reverse is just pull this. It has limited gas in it, just this, so. Yeah, she just ran out of gas. The starter is making kind of a little bit of clunky sounds, but it does seem to start easy enough. It does smoke just a little bit, not too much. I'm thinking it's worthwhile to keep going forward with this thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the carburetor, and it's going to be hard to put one of those cone air cleaners on this thing. It's almost like it needs an extension, one of those rubber extensions to get the air cleaner out to here. But I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with the air cleaner and probably order something for it. And we're just going to, I think we're going to just keep going forward a little bit at a time. A lot of times I'll get a machine to this point, and then, you know, it's time to order parts and make some decisions, where are we going and all that. So things will slow down. But this gives you guys a couple of how-to videos and that kind of stuff. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the heck out of this. These longer videos, these multi-section videos, when I'm making these, it kind of gets hard to put up a video every day, because these multi-section videos take a long time. And what you do is, a lot of times you'll kind of see a multi-section video, and then you'll see something shorter, like a flea market video or a Are You Lucky video. And those I'm not calling them fill-in videos, but once again, to make these multi-section videos take a long time. First thing you got to do is plan it, which isn't trivial. Then you got to film it. Planning a lot of times takes ordering some parts, right? So that's all time consuming. Then you got to put the pieces, then you got to kind of go through each individual piece and kind of edit it, right? Because some of them get too long. I talk too much like I am right now. And then you got to glue all the pieces together. Then you got to watch it to make sure all the pieces went together. Piece 1, 2, 3, 4, rather than 1, 5, 3, 4, right? It wouldn't make sense. So you got to make sure the pieces go together in the right order. After you do all that, these tend to be a little bit longer. So then you got to upload it. And once it's uploaded, once again, you watch it one more time, maybe not the whole thing, you kind of spot watch it, but just to make sure there are no more surprises. And then you got to you hit publish, and it once again, these multi-section ones take a bit more time. So I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I do enjoy making them, but the time. But I hope you guys enjoy them more so than the little short and shoot versions. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out there and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.